How we doing, everybody? We want to talk about The Flash again. I'm not going to do another review, obviously, but I did want to. I've watched probably almost a dozen reviews on both sides of the coin for The Flash. And, of course, I want to also talk about the numbers for this weekend, this past weekend, because it has me scratching my head. So, I thought about everything that's kind of happened in the film and what everybody didn't like about it, because what I realized about this film is that there's nothing in the middle. Either people love it or they absolutely despise it with every fiber of their being. So it's a love or hate thing. There are reviews that saying, "Oh, I love it. This was great." Which is how I felt. I came out of the theater really kind of hyped. I felt like I had seen a heroic type movie. And then there are people just saying, "Oh, it's the biggest piece of shit I've ever seen. I never want to see another DC movie again." James Gunn saying this was great. He's out of his mind. I don't trust him anymore. So there's that level, and then there's a level of, I thought it was really good. I don't know. We all saw the same movie. But from what I've seen, as far as what people are criticizing, and I can't say I disagree with what they're saying, it's just that I overcame it. So there are everybody, the basis of everybody's thing is Ezra Miller. They don't like Ezra Miller, especially seeing two of them. He's annoying. He doesn't embody the Flash, blah, blah, blah. No arguments here. No arguments here. I agree with every sentiment of that. However, I was able to overlook that and just see him as a different Flash. At least he wasn't completely annoying all the way through like he was in the first Justice League movie. So, but I can't disagree with that. But if that's the hang up, and the fact of everything that he's done, and I'm never going to give this guy a shot, I completely agree. I mean, I can't. If you hate it because of that, I get it. I get it. The next thing that everybody hates, of course, is the special effects. All right. Again, I get it. No, I can't argue with that. If they're basing it on the really crappy special effects and hating Ezra Miller and hating the movie because of that, okay. I can't. I'm not even gonna rebuttal that, because you're right. You are right. I don't, and again, I went into the theater thinking I was going to hate it. Maybe that's part of the problem, is that I went in there with such low expectations that what I got, I really enjoyed. So I forgave it for a lot of things. But if you're not going to forgive it for certain things, I could totally understand why you'd hate this movie. The other thing is, and this is where I kind of want to talk a little bit about. They also said that Zod felt completely out of place. And this is because they strayed from the source material. Okay? So as I said in the last video, in my review video, if they had stuck to Flashpoint. Okay, so knowing that Ezra Miller was a problem, even while they were shooting this, they knew he was a problem, right? What they should have done, this is what I would have done, is called it Flashpoint. I would not have put a second Ezra Miller in there, because there is no second Flash in Flashpoint. There's only one. So they should have made Keaton Thomas Wayne instead of being Bruce Wayne. He didn't have to carry the guns or whatever else. You don't want to stray too far from 89, the 89 Batman. And Sean Chandler kind of brought this up too. He said that a lot of younger people don't have nostalgia for the Keaton Batman from 89. So they're not seeing what we're seeing. So if you didn't grow up with the Batman 89, you don't have the nostalgia bait, hook, line, and sinker like we're getting pulled along. They reeled us in with that, being older guys, and the younger guys don't have that. That's why they love the Spider-Man one more. So, but if they had stuck to Flashpoint, they would have had more of a minimal amount of Ezra Miller in it with the same storyline. Okay? Plus, you'd have a Batman that didn't say, no, I'll pass, even though the world was crumbling around him, right? So Zod I guess he didn't realize the level of threat that Zod really posed, nor did he care, because I think he was just done. I'm retired, I'm out. But in Flashpoint, the whole hook for him was that if Barry was able to change the time stream back, then his son would be alive. And for any father, just the idea that his son, because in Flashpoint, Bruce was killed in the alley and not the parents. So Bruce died, which in turn turned Thomas into Batman, but a very hard Batman who was not afraid to kill. And his mom went crazy and became the Joker. So during the Flashpoint storyline, they clashed. So him and his wife clashed. And we don't get to see that here, which would have been a really good storyline, plus the fact that you immediately know and understand and can identify with why Thomas Wayne would join that fight. Okay? And why he will agree to electrocute Barry, and, maybe not even half believing it, but hoping that it was true so that he could get so his son could live even if he died. That's powerful stuff, man. By changing that, I think there was a mistake. And you could have done it with Keaton. You still could have brought Keaton back. He still could have been the Batman from '89, but a different version. That's all. So the other thing is that you did not have to have Zod. Okay? In Flashpoint, it's Atlantis versus Themyscira. Okay? That is the world-ending event. Okay? Not Zod showing up. And you already had Gal Gadot in the movie. You already had Jason Momoa in the movie, albeit only one scene each. Okay? And of course, the scene with Momoa is a total throwaway, which is another thing that Sean Chandler brought up, was that it was a throwaway. It didn't make any sense. And also, Clooney showing up at the end made no sense. So, if you had done Gal Gadot versus Jason Momoa in the trailer, on the poster, you would have brought in probably another $50 to $70 million, without a doubt. Seeing a clash between an Atlantean and a Themysciran or an Amazon would have brought in huge amounts of money, because those two are the draw. And that's another thing that a lot of the other people said, a lot of the other reviews said, was that the Flash is an unknown character. You have, for the most part, I know he's been on the CW, but, he's not a top-tier character. I totally agree with that. So you made a movie about a non-top-tier character, and that's why the only thing that could save him was Batman, right? And then you brought in an older Batman on top of that, so that most of the young people don't know. So if you had brought the other two in there, and it was people that they recognized and the younger people forget Zod. You could have had, and if you watch the cartoon, they told that story in 90 minutes. They told the entire story in 90 minutes. So if The Flash was 2.5 hours, you could have easily heard the same story. Easily in that extra hour. So you would have cut back on the 2 Barrys, and then on top of that, you would have this other storyline going on with Gal Gadot and Aquaman, and the fans would have loved it because Amber Heard would have got her head cut off. Right? Because in Flashpoint, the whole theater would have cheered. See, I don't understand why they didn't do that. If they had stuck to the material, you would have had a money maker instead of a money loser. So there's a lot of different reasons why this movie's losing money, and I mean, it wasn't from what I saw in the theater, but I'm in LA, so we have a different type of movie growing audience here, and it's not everywhere. So a lot of people said in their review that there was 3 people in their theater. But anyway, so that's my 2 cents on this, and I really think they dropped the ball by not sticking to the source material. And yeah, it's a flop. It cost $220 million to make. Okay, so let's go through the numbers real quick. All right, because I'm a line producer, this is kind of what I do. So if you have a $220 million movie, right? So right off the bat, the theater is going to take half, and that doesn't include the international side. Depending on what kind of deal they have internationally, most of them they're not going to get 50-50. They're going to get less. And then, of course, on top of that, the distribution company also takes X amount. Now, in the case of Warner Brothers, they have their own distribution company, so they're not going to. It's still going to be a 50-50 cut. All right. When you have a lower budget movie that you then get a distributor, then it's a whole different deal. And I can talk to you about that as well because I've been through that. So let's just use the number 50-50 because that's the easy way to do it. So $220 million, you have to double it, right? So now your movie has to make at least $440 million to get your $220 million back, right? So let's just make the number easy and say $500 million, right? Then on top of that, you're going to spend, or Warner Brothers is going to spend with the posters, with TV commercials, with Super Bowl ad, which is probably $10-20 million by itself, with internet advertising, with advertising in all the other countries, right, that they probably dubbed, right, because they're distributing it all over the world. So they have to market in every single country. So don't think that they're just marketing here and it's costing them, $30 million here. No, they're advertising everywhere, in every country they're probably spending another $2, $3, $4 to $5 million. So, and add up all those countries. So a good rule of thumb is between $100 and $150 million for marketing. But if you're spending that out of your pocket, then you got to double it again, right? Because you're only going to get receipts from the movie theater for 50% again. So let's just make it easy. Let's just say it's just $100 million, which is probably not correct. So, but just to make the numbers easy. So we're at 5, so we're at $600 million, right? So let's do it backwards. So it's 300 and let's say 350, right? Right? Because we were at 220, right? And then we're going to add another 100. So let's make it 130 just to make the numbers easy. So 220, 320, 350, right? So let's say $350 million is the cost that they have going in, right? And of course, I don't even know if that includes the all the money that they put in for reshoots and everything else. But let's just make the number easy. So that you have to double 350. That's $700 million. So they need $700 million to break even. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. So the other rule is that whatever you make opening weekend worldwide, you double that. And that's pretty much your run. Because every week, you're going to drop half. You're going to have a 50% drop in sales, ticket sales, every week that it's out until it goes to zero. So if you're at, I think it's at 120, let's just say they're at 150 million right now worldwide. So they're going to make 3, maybe 350, maximum 400. It's over. James Gunn already came out and said, nope, Flash is, Ezra Miller's done. They were holding him just in case the movie was extremely successful. But now that it's not, he's out. It's over. And that's the same thing, with Little Mermaid. It was the same type of thing. Little Mermaid was, $250 million. So 500, 250, 350. So it's at the same 700 million. So everybody's like, oh, it's made 450 million, 500 million. You're still dropping. You're still 200 million shy. And now they're saying, and that's, with Guardians, they're at almost 800 million. So that you're fine there. Guardians is going to make a little bit of money. That's probably the only Marvel film that's doing anything. And then on top of that, you have Dial of Destiny, Indiana Jones, that nobody's going to see. Everybody I talk to is not going to see it. Everybody that I see on the internet is not going to see it. To the point where Bob Iger put out a statement saying, I know that the fans are not going to go. I don't know what to tell you. And we're going to strive to be better. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not striving to be better. You're praying that everybody does show up anyway. You're going to guilt them into it, except you can't use a race card because it's a white guy. So yeah, they're estimating like 50 million. Like I said, they're estimating the same thing as the Flash. The Indiana Jones is $330 million budget. So if you do the same math with that, 300 and let's say 350, so that's 700 million before marketing. So 450. Right? So let's just add another 100 million on top of that. So you're at 450. You're at $900 million to break even for Indiana Jones. Yeah. But meanwhile, Across the Spider-Verse there, or whatever it is, cost 100 million. So you take another $100 million in marketing, you're at 200 million, you're at 400 million. They've already broken even. They're already good. Just to show you the difference. The same thing with Mario. Mario Brother movie there, it was $100 million, another 100 million, it's 200 million, they needed 400. They raked in about 1.3 billion right now. That's a cash cow right there. Universal's, they went out to their backlot street and started drinking. Anyway, that's it for me. I didn't even want to talk this long on this, but yeah, that's my 2 cents on the Flash. I still stand by the fact that I like it. I liked it, but if it had stuck closer to the source material, I would have loved it. I already did love it to a certain extent, but I think it would have fixed all those problems for all those people if they had stuck to the source material. But unfortunately, everybody's up in arms about it. I think that there's more than 50% of the people who did not like it. So that's the end of that. All right. Again, I'm trying to grow my channel, so make sure you like, subscribe, all the rest. Let's get me monetized at least. Because I think it's like 4,000 views a month or something like that I need to hit up before I get monetized. Also behind me, I'm going to put the link for Destiny Aurora, which is the graphic novels over here. Iron Witch, Tales of Varavador the Iron Witch, is my hardcover, which is also available on DestinyAurora.net. But if you are into comics, Destiny Aurora looks great. There's your artwork. There's plenty of space battle. There's aliens. There's gun battle. There's sword battles. It's exciting, and there's a whole good twist in there that you are not going to see coming. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time. All right. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.